Beautiful good morning to your lovely viewers. Welcome to the weekly gospel. My name is Amazing Katamanda. We are always here every Saturday at 10:45 to give you nothing but the best when it comes to the gospel. So what we usually do on the show is that we get to profile your favorite gospel personalities, and then we also get to introduce to you new personalities. Like we always say, it's all about preaching the gospel through different platforms or mediums. Whatever it is that you're doing to reach out to people, just making an impact, positive impact in the society, and you want to be featured and talk about what exactly you do, please do feel free to get in touch with us using our social handles. So follow us on our Facebook page, Camnet TV, and then get in touch with us. We'll let you know on how you can find us up here. And talking about making a positive change in the society, I have this beautiful book with me, authored by a young man, Stephen Ariel Peary, and it's a very interesting book, Why People Die by Suicide. I know these are topics that we shine away from. These are topics that we avoid talking about because they are sensitive. But today we decided to bring him, and he's a young man, and let's just get to hear from him. So if you have any comments, do go on our Facebook page and then get to inbox us those questions that you have, or better yet, you can just leave in the comment section. And don't forget to follow, like, and share with as many people so that we can reach out to many people. I know there are a lot of people that are going through a whole lot of things, and maybe they are thinking of taking their lives. Well, there's true hope. Just from this book that I read, unfortunately it hasn't been launched yet. But anyway, Ariel is here to give us all those details, but for now, let's just dive into the conversation. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's good to have you. An author, you are creative, you do a whole lot of things. I wonder how you just manage to just get your hands down on everything, because you do a whole lot of things, man. How do you do it?
No, you see, it's all stuff from how God has been doing it. You know, God is a lot of things, and He said the same thing. You know, be fruitful. So we're trying by all means to obey the commandments.
Not just
no.
making babies.
That one. We actually, it's also fruitfulness is also in different ways, as if, you know, writing a book's been fruitful. You know, you being here, it's been fruitful. So we can be fruitful in many ways. So that's what I'm trying to do, actually. Obey God's commandment.
All right.
Yes.
So you authored this book, which is very interesting, and it has some of topics that are very personal to me.
I like that.
Yeah, and I pray that we're not going to get emotional, because hey, you know a girl with emotions. We don't have tissues in here, so
sure.
Yeah. But I think the director might bring some for me just in case. But anyway, if you're just joining us, you're welcome. Do come through with your comments and contributions by texting the numbers that are on the TV screen. Unfortunately, today we're unable to take your calls, so we can only take your text messages. And don't forget to also leave your comments on our Facebook page. So Ariel,
yes.
What inspired the title of this book, or even just you writing this whole book? Let's get real now.
So the inspiration about the title is simple. So I've been following one of the people who is Dr. Miles Monroe. He's been a mentor to me, though he's late. So he said something that usually has been that has been helping me in terms of life. He said, where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. So I started thinking about it, and I borrowed his philosophy. And I came up with a similar philosophy as well, to say, where the cause of suicide is not known, death by suicide is inevitable. So because I believe that it is the comprehension of the cause that guarantees the precise principles and the methods to prevent suicide from happening. So I was like, people want, we cannot prevent suicide in Zambia until we understand why people are dying by suicide. So it's not just what is happening, but it's about why, because what we go through, everyone goes through them. Now, why is that other people die while others don't? So that's the inspiration behind the title.
Okay. Yeah. How many chapters are in this book?
14.
There are like 14 chapters.
Yes.
And to be honest, at least I had that opportunity of seeing you the time that you were writing this book. You put in so much. You did your research.
Yeah.
You talked to people that have the right information. So
Yes.
I would just like to find out why was it so important for you to talk to specific people or specialized people in certain chapters that you have written in this book? Why was it important for you to get those people's views in this book?
So first, the reason why the inspiration is behind this book is based on my lived experiences of suicidality as well. However, I didn't want to basically tell the principles that to tell people on how to overcome suicide based on my own experiences. So I ended up reaching out to a number of people. Actually, I interviewed 3,000 people in Lusaka. And then the professionals, these are mental health professionals, just to hear their perspective regarding suicide. So it's not a book that I wanted it to be with a small knowledge about why people die by suicide. I wanted to hear different perspectives, so that as I'm writing the book, I have all insights based on different lived experiences of people who also struggled or considered suicide in one way or another in their lives. That was why it was so important for me to even have to go around and interviewing 3,000 people, just to ensure that I have the right information in this book.
So you didn't want to just give your thoughts, but you wanted to give out right information.
The right information, for sure.
Okay, so I would just like to find out from you, what do you think are the common misconceptions when it comes to like suicide? What misconceptions that people have about suicide? Because when someone kills themselves, we are quick to judge and everything. So what are those misconceptions that you have noticed that are common?
Well, the number one is about people who maybe consider or are trying to attempt suicide, that they are seeking attention. That's one of the things that I actually noticed. People say just seeking attention. For example, I'll give an example of Moses, who climbed the tower. Yes. So a number of people are like, that's attention. I mean, look at how many people do we have in Zambia who are unemployed? And then they'll just perceive that as just seeking attention. It's not knowing that there were things that needed the person that needed help with. So it's not just attention. So that's one of the myths, that people are just seeking attention. The other one is, some people consider that they think that suicide is not preventable. That's one of the myths that I found. And then also the other one is, people say people who take their own lives are selfish. They don't consider their families. How can you just go and take your own life? Not knowing that there are so many things that are involved for someone to consider taking his or her life. So those are the common misconception. And also the other one is people who die by suicide, it's due to mental illness alone. But the thing is that some people, even without mental illnesses, they can still take their own lives. So that's one of the misconceptions that is there. And also, mental illness does not lend itself to irrationality as well. So that people also can have some mental illnesses but still be aware of what they are doing. So there's more that has to be done for people to understand that this is the perspective about the truth about suicide as well. So those are the common myths that I found when I was interviewing people in Lusaka.
All right. So I'm going to ask you something very personal, and I hope that you'll be as open as you can be.
Sure, possible.
Okay. I think, anyway, this is national television. We have to be honest.
Yeah,
I've
definitely.
also been in a place where I felt like dying was far much better than living. So for you, have you ever been in a position where you felt like, I should kill myself, where you just became suicidal? And if at all you were in that place, how did you navigate through that process and becoming positive again and wanting to live again?
Well, I think it all started from when I was young. I was sexually abused when I was 12, and when I was 15, and I was also bullied from 12 years to 15 years old. And this bully, who was about 6 years older than me, who used to force us to do very traumatizing things. So he would, whenever we went sling hunting, he would force us to insert our penis inside the foreskin of his penis to prove that he was older and had a larger penis than every one of us. So those experiences, they affected my mental health. So when I was 16 years old, I started having these flashbacks until I nearly attempted suicide. Yes, and even when I was 24 years old, I also nearly attempted suicide as well. So I have all these lived experiences of suicidality that really were very traumatizing, and I didn't know what to do. However, how I managed, it was simple. It's not easy, but it was simple. Yeah, so it has to go through is professional help, going through therapy and counseling sessions, and I was also given the medications as well at Chainama, Hills College Hospital, and also a social help, talking to people like the way we are having this conversation, here through encouragement from other people. This is what I went through and I managed to overcome it in this manner. So by getting such encouragements and advice from people, I was being able to be helped. And however, the key aspect was spiritual help as well, which came in later on. And I came to know God, and I was liberated from suicidality after
that. Many times when people are going through stuff to a point where they become suicidal, it's very difficult for them to like open up and talk to someone or even just trust someone with their issues. But for you, how did you get to a place where you trusted someone? Because I believe before you started seeking for professional help in terms of like hospital therapy from professional people, you had to talk to someone that suggested that. Or maybe you heard somewhere, you didn't have any conversation with anyone, you just heard somewhere that, okay, you can go and seek for help from. Like, how did you come to a position where you just took yourself for therapy? Did someone suggest it to you, or you heard it on TV, you heard it on radio?
No. So actually, professional help was something that came in later. I have this stigma, where I was thinking people would ridicule me or they would judge me if I share my stories. So I had this low self-esteem, and most of the times I used to be found alone. So what happened is that I used to watch inspirational videos and movies, listening to audiobooks that were inspirational sermons. So these are the things that more of like changed the way I was thinking about myself and life in general. And from there, those things, they built a confidence in me, which as a result, I started, wanting to read more books. And through that, I was able to accept my situation, what happened, and I realized that it was not my fault. And after that, that's when I had the confidence now to talk to other people. Oh, this is what happened to me. So I only to realize that what I was thinking, that people would say, it was just based on how I was thinking about myself or about my life. So it so happened that these people were helpful enough to say, well, if this is what has happened, this is how we can go about it. So through that, I was being helped, and then that's how I managed now to take it to the next level, where I had to go for professional help.
Someone would ask, I know your parents are not here to speak for themselves, but were there times when your parents noticed that this child is not behaving normal from the way a normal child is supposed to behave? Did they sit you down at some point to ask you what was going on, or it was just as usual life? They didn't know what was going on, they were not aware of what was happening? Because for me, when I was suicidal, I isolated myself. I would always spend time like out, come back home late, so that my parents don't get to see me. Because I know my mom is very sensitive and she always picks things fast. For you, was there a time when your parents sat you down and found out from you what was going on, or maybe you were good at covering it?
Well, I think one of the common things is once you are in apprehension. When I say apprehension, it means you're having different kind of perception about yourself. When you are alone, you feel lonely. When you feel the sense of belongingness becomes burdensomeness. So at the age of 16, actually, I isolated myself from my family. I started staying alone at the age of 16.
You shifted and
yes,
staying alone?
Yes. The reason was I started feeling as though I was a burden to my family. I was not good enough, feeling worthless, feeling, hopeless, helpless. I didn't know who to talk to. So the aspect of them to spot the signs or any unusual behaviors in me, it was very hard for them to know. However, there was a time my immediate brother almost he noticed something and he asked that I pretended everything was fine. I didn't tell him why. He said, why are you always serious? You know, you're always serious. You know, you're not having some fun. Is everything okay? So he asked me that question. I said, no, I'm just okay. He said, it's fine. So I never disclosed what happened because I thought with time everything would be, would be okay. So I tried by all means to hide it. That's why even the time where I nearly attempted suicide, it was when I was in my own house. Actually, I even closed the door so that no one could come in to stop me from what I was doing. I remember crying for almost an hour until I nearly attempted suicide. So I had this pesticide with me near my table, and I wanted to take it. But I don't know how and why I didn't do it. I'm still myopic about what transpired at that moment in the evening. I unexpectedly fell asleep, and the next thing I clearly remember is me waking up the following day early morning. That's how I changed my mind and went on living, languishing in my traumas. So, and when you talk about how do people know the signs of why something is bad?
Because you've talked about stigmatization.
Yes.
People are afraid to open up because they are scared people treat them some type of way, or maybe they'll feel sorry for them. And then sometimes, that's why in this generation C, we've got this thing of called he's toxic, she's toxic. When you talk about what you are feeling, and especially the negative things that you're feeling, people will just label you as a toxic person. Hence, the stigma comes in.
Yeah, sure.
So now, how do we know the risk? If let's say a friend is going through stuff, how do I know that this person is suffering from suicidal thoughts? How can I tell? And how can I also not, treat them some type of way?
Well, it's simple. So the thing is, suicide is not apparent. That's the challenge. You cannot easily tell. However, when you have the knowledge about the signs, it becomes easy for you. So these are the people who usually they'll start the first thing, which is withdrawing from people, their loved ones, like I did, and like you said, you're also trying to be alone. So those are the first signs that you're supposed to look at. And then also, people, they tend to express how they feel. This can be in a casual way or thoughtfully. So, like say, sometimes I think life is not fair. It's even better to die, So what they're saying is not because of they're putting it as if it's a general thing, but actually that's what they think about themselves or about their life. So that becomes a challenge. Those are the things that you pinpoint. So when you hear such words, it's important for you as a friend that you become close to such a person and pay attention, or maybe try to give general encouragement since you don't know, and then try to find out afterwards. Maybe you can share about your problems. For example, say when I was young, I was sexually abused. I don't know, things were hard, and I even considered taking my own life. I don't know, have you ever been in such a situation before? You are posing it to the person, so that they can share their challenges, and it becomes you open a discussion. And then other thing is substance abuse. Some people tend to they resort to alcohol. We find that this person has never been drinking alcohol. All of a sudden, what's happening here? Definitely, that's a sign that this person is struggling. And also the other aspect which I notice is you let's say you always hear having all these interviews. All of a sudden, you hate this job. The interest is gone. Definitely, that's a sign that something is wrong with you, because you've been enjoying doing this thing. Now, what's wrong here? There's an explanation behind that. So these are the signs that people need to understand or learn so that they can help other people who are struggling. Because I won't come direct to you to say, I want to take my own life. For me to say that, it means I'm already about to do it. Maybe I'm trying to say bye-bye. That's why those are the people that you hear. Maybe, guys, if anything happens to me, they're on the verge of suicide now, which means it's worse at that level. It's at the next level. They're about to do it. Yes. So that's how you can learn the suicide. Actually, indeed, in this book, I talked about the signs. This is the last chapter called "Don't Ask, It Is Exhausting to Explain." I was trying to help people understand that this is what usually happens. So, for example, here is a person who is feeling worthless. They will use certain terms like, "My life is a huge mess." Okay, and I'm a failure in life. I'm such a loser. So they always try to label themselves the things that they are not, because that's what they think and feel.
Okay.
Yes. So those are the signs that you're supposed to pay attention to. So these books will definitely help you to spot them. You become sensitive. You're like, I think there's something wrong with Katamanda right now. We need to talk to her. Yeah.
And then in a situation where you've noticed that your friend is not okay, the thing is you can't force someone to open up. You notice they change, like just a change in their behavior. How can you make it? Are there ways of helping that person open up? Because like I said, these days there's social media. You open up to someone, they label you toxic, or they go on social media, they post your issues. You are talking to them in confidence, and before you know it, everybody else knows what you're going through. So people tend to like keep to themselves. They don't really want to like open up. And then also there's the issue of, you know, attention seeking. People just consider you as. I remember there's this makeup artist, I won't mention her name. Before she died, she had posted something on social media, and people were thinking to say, no, she's also a bully, she likes taking advantage because she's at disadvantage somehow. They said all sorts of mean things, and in the morning the person was dead, she was normal, and now people were now feeling bad, and others were still saying they were not still sorry, but others felt it like, I wish I had done something, I wish I had like reached out. So in a case where you've noticed your friend is not okay and they're not ready to open up, like how can you be supportive to that person who's suicidal?
So provided that you've seen or noticed something unusual, right? Yes. So I'll give you the same example which I mentioned to say it would be best, since you don't want to force a conversation here, and if I see that you're trying to force it, I'll try by all means to be defensive as well. No, everything is fine. Everything is fine. You sure everything is fine? So it would be best if I come into your closet. For example, I share my stories here. This is what happened to me. Blah 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 blah. You know, and I don't know. Have you ever been in such a situation before where you feel as if, you know, you can just take your own life because of this is what is happening? It's a question in a form of a question. You know, and then you listen to what this person will say, and then now what will happen is that suicidal thoughts always, they will expose them now. You know, actually, what you're saying almost happened yesterday for me. Oh, you say yes, and I'm still thinking about the same thing today. Oh, okay. And then after that, if they share, they say, okay, I'm over that problem. I'm not thinking of taking my own life. So you say, so how did you manage to navigate through that situation? So you're trying to analyze if the person is fully okay here now. Oh no, I talked to mom, and maybe I talked to my wife, or I talked to a friend, and this is what he or she did for me, and then I just let it slide. So, for example, then you can just pick it up and say, I think it would be better if you can also maybe seek professional help, you know, try to go for therapy and counseling. Now, in Zambia, if you mention about therapy and counseling, you say,
the issue like, okay, she's losing her mind or he's losing her mind.
In China case. Yeah, so if they don't want that, try by all means, you know, to offer inspirational encouragement or things that can help this person navigate, and give them reasons why they should consider professional help later. Because some cases they may not need to go for professional help. But if you see that this is something that is very serious, you have to try by all means that you get this person to attend therapy and counseling session.
Okay. And then there are also people who don't really show signs. They'll be there laughing, they'll be there going about their lives. You won't know anything, and I'm sure a lot of people at home who are watching, they can testify to this. There are loved ones that we have lost. We didn't see it coming. Like, we would even say this person was happy. We didn't know that there was something wrong. We don't even know why they took their own lives. Are there like stages to suicidal thoughts? Do others know how to cover it? Or like, I would just like to understand, because you have done your research and you have talked to people who are professionals. I would like to find out, like, from the research that you did, are there results that are showing that these suicidal thoughts have got like stages? Because there's some people who would like totally withdraw, they'll stop doing things that they used to enjoy doing, and then others will just be there laughing, and then the next morning you just say this person is normal.
That's very true. So, yes, there are stages. There is suicide ideation. This is like the first stage. You know, you're just thinking about it because of something bad happened. I'll give an example. A friend of mine, when she lost her mother, she considered suicide after 2 days after the burial. 2 days later. Yes. So what happened is that she never had any suicidal thoughts in her childhood. And that was the time that she thought of, I think my life won't be the same without my mother. It would be better if I just die. It took her about, she said it was just 1 day, that suicide ideation. So now what happens is, if you entertain those suicidal thoughts for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, weeks, and what, the intention becomes, or the desire becomes strong. And from there, if anything bad happens, you're always going to resort to what you've been thinking about yourself all along until you take your own life. So, in the situation where you say people don't show sign, suicide is always symptomatic. We'll try by all means to show our feelings or thoughts or what we are planning to do in one way or another. So these are the people, if they happen not to show any signs, they just go and straight and just do it. Well, it can happen in a mysterious way. It could be they tried to say something to someone, but that person was not in a position where they can disclose what they were feeling or thinking. So it has to do with the environment that these people are exposed. You know, for example, if in my family we don't talk about, expressing how we feel, it's going to be hard for me to say something to you so that you people know that I'm struggling in one way or another. So these are the people just go ahead and just take their own lives without any signs. But some they will definitely write, a letter to say this is the reason why I'm taking my own life, because maybe I didn't eat, or because they didn't give me the money, because my girlfriend rejected whatever, something like that. They'll just put something there to show you. So there's always some signs. That I believe, according to my research and the people that I interviewed, they tried by all means. They'll show it. If they won't say it, they'll show it. If they won't show it, they'll write it. If they won't write it, then definitely they'll just take their own lives.
It's a very sad situation. I remember the time that I was going through like a lot of things, and then I was just, I think about 15 or 16 or 14, 15, 16, when I was going through something. And then I tried opening up to my friend. And teachers would never understand. They just thought I was just like this rebellious child and everything, plus dealing with the bullying from friends at school and everything. I tried opening up to my friend. And then this friend of mine just tells me, just get a knife and go and do this. If they don't tell you, just threaten them that you stab yourself. That's the solution that I was given. And me being silly, I think I was just silly. Yeah, I wasn't in my right frame of mind.
And you wanted to do it?
I went and did that. And it didn't only hurt me, but it also hurt my loved ones, because they didn't know what I was going through. They didn't know the pain that I was experiencing. And I'm one person who doesn't like opening up, or it takes a lot for me to open up to someone.
Yeah, for sure. You're not alone. There are a number of them. Actually, I was one of them as well. It's this time that I just talk about whatever I want to talk about. If I'm struggling, I'll just say it, and how you take it doesn't matter. The point is, I just want to express how I feel. All the times I just try to do that.
So the fact that I wasn't talking to people or anyone, it made the whole situation bad. And the first time I tried opening up to someone, and the advice she gives me is just get a knife and then do this. And then I went and did that. And I wasn't the only one who was hit. I could see that my loved ones were also hit. Which brings me to how, in as much as you want to open up, because before you become suicidal, or when you're suicidal, I'm not supposed to have these thoughts. But you can't help it. So how do you get rid of such thoughts? Are there any steps? Are there any precautions that we can take to make sure that we just don't entertain those thoughts? And then also when it comes to like opening up to people, who can you open up to? Because it's not easy to just open up to anybody. Like, how can you trust someone? Are there specific people that you need to go to? If you've seen like your circle is not doesn't have people that will understand what you're going through, or even your family won't understand, are there any places that you've noticed that offer help to people that are going through these kind of things and who are suicidal?
Well, in Zambia we have a number of rehab centers that are being opened now, which is very good. Those are supporting groups that people can also utilize. However, when you say if there's no one to trust, I believe you all have that kind of a person that you say, whenever I'm around that person, he always talks, he or she always, gives those certain advice, Those are the trusted people we're talking about that you can talk to. I think that's where you can start from. If you don't want to go to any rehab center, just look for that trusted person that you can talk to. I think, Amazing always, she talks about serious things, in life, and I think that's the person that I can talk to. So that's the person you should target. But the thing is, the stigma around, but again, what is she going to think? But again, based on her personality, she's a good person. Anyway, so let me give it a try. So this person will come to you and they'll maybe give a brief story about what they're going through, first to see what you're going to say. And then if you're listening actively, they'll be like, okay, this person is, not being judgmental. Let me now share more of what is happening and how I'm feeling. Oh, this is what is what. They can even, break down there and cry. So it becomes helpful for them to open up in that manner. So target a person that is the most trusted person around your circle of influence.
Okay. So we should always look out for people that encourage, because I know in as much as we have crazy friends and the likes, but we always have that one.
Yes, one or two.
Always speaks sense.
One or two.
Always speaks sense. And I hope that I'm that kind of a friend though. So for someone who's thinking, who's contemplating whether they should kill themselves or they think there's something wrong with them, what can you tell them? Is that normal to feel like that, or maybe it's not normal according to the research that you've done?
Well, biblically, it's not. It's as in the Bible is about life preservation. So here's the thing: the natural instinct of every human being is life preservation. Like we all want to preserve our lives in one way or another. No one wants to die. Even going to heaven, you have to die. People don't want to die. They just want to go there. I don't want to die. I want to see it. So that's the natural.
I think that's why most of us are afraid of dying. It's the way we live our lives. Because if you know you're living right, I don't think when you're ready, I don't think you'd be scared to die.
So the point I'm trying to make is there's always a part in us of people that wants us to live, regardless of what is happening. And the part where you want to take your own life, which means you are going against that instinct of life preservation. Something is wrong and you need help. Now what happens is that you start trying to find a rationale why you should do it. So for example, like I mentioned, I think I'm a burden to my family. No one cares or loves me. I think it would be better, I die. I am worthless, I'm a failure, I'm a loser. I mean, look at my life, I can't even provide for my family or my child, I can't even, I'm a college dropout, there's nothing that is working out. I mean, what am I doing here? So the emotional pain now leads the person to say, I think it would be better to just take my own life. So now for those who don't want to do it there and then, like I mentioned, they have to first find a rationale why they should do it. So some will just resort to drinking alcohol. They'll be abusing alcohol, just trying to waste their life in one way or another. Slowly until one day, like, I think it's enough, let me just go now. Then they die. Some, they won't even go through that route. They'll just, just do it. Just go. I think there's no way out of what I'm going through. So they feel they're always in a place which I refer to as apprehension. The perception changes. You are only believing the things that you are not. When you're alone, you are lonely. When you're alone, to you it's lonely. So to a person who is suicidal, the first thing that you're supposed to do is, before you even when you have those suicidal thoughts, it is a sign that you need help. And now, instead of you trying to be reserved, those suicidal thoughts will try by all means to make you think or believe that no one is there to help you. So instead of listening to those thoughts, open up, express yourself. just talk to a friend, a brother, sister, or even a stranger who can encourage you to, can give you some word of encouragement. Because the Bible says a word of encouragement opens up a heart. And so these are the things that you're supposed to do. Just open up to someone. Accept the situation and say, this is beyond me. You have weaknesses. You have limits. There's a point in time where you can exhaust all your abilities. And that's a sign that definitely you need help. So accept that. Accept that need for help, because if you don't do, which means the societal ideation becomes an intention, and intention now you're planning now how to do it until you're going to do it. So you have, it's just that's the aspect of you trying to change your mind from there. So there's a way on how to go about it, of which I explain in the book. If I start now, I'll be tempted to explain everything, which will go beyond the time given. Okay. Yes.
So if you're just joining us, welcome. This is the Weekly Gospel, and I'm your host, the amazing Katamanda, and I'm joined by Teddy. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that. Well, I'm joined by Stephen Ariel Piri. So if you have any comments and contributions, do go on our Facebook page, leave your comments there. But for now, let's just take a short break and take a look at some of the things that you're saying on Facebook. Keep those comments coming in. For now, let's just go to a short break. We'll be right back after this.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
You are still watching it. It is the Weekly Gospel with me, host, the amazing Katamanda, and I'm joined by Stephen Ariel Piri, who is an author of this book titled Why People Die by Suicide. And well, you know what I love about Camnet the most is that we're not just any other channel. This book is not yet out, but we're already giving you the details, the gist, everything, information that is in here. That's what I love the most about us. Before you see it anywhere else, you get to see it here. So this book will be launched tomorrow, but before we even talk about the book being launched, let's talk about the spiritual aspect of suicide. Zambia is a Christian nation.
Go deeper.
Zambia is a Christian nation. So there, especially the church, when they hear someone is suicidal, they relate it mostly to demonic powers, spiritual attacks and the likes. And then you mentioned something here that talks about don't limit what God can do for you. So how can we trust God with our suicidal thoughts, looking at the way the church looks at suicidal thoughts? Mostly they are related to, like I said earlier, demonic powers. So how can we trust God when society, the church especially, is telling us these are demonic things?
So when I was doing my research, I actually met one of the people who talked about the same thing, saying, suicide, these are just demonic. These are just demons. You know, there's no way a person can think of taking his or her life. And I don't disagree to say there's no aspect there's no spirituality attached to it. I'll give an example, part of this book, and also as my young sister who also experienced some of these things. So in the Bible, if I just talk about my young sister, I may sound a bit biased, right? So let's go in the Bible. Why I say I agree, there's a percentage of where there's the spiritual aspect of it. In the Bible, if you remember, Jesus Christ, the disciples, there was a time they failed to cast out the demon from a young boy. And then when Jesus came and said, "What are you arguing about?" And then his father said, "Oh, I brought my child to your disciples, but they could not cast out the demon out of him." And Jesus said, "For how long has it been like this?" And then he answered, "Since he was young." And it has been trying to, whenever it takes charge of his body, it has been trying to throw him into the fire, into the water, intending to kill him. You see what I'm talking about here? That's not a person there. This is a demon possession, like we are talking about here. This person is possessed, and that evil spirit is trying to kill this person. My young sister was also possessed at some point, where she would go, whenever she loses control over her body, she would go out for about 2 days, sometimes a week, without coming back. And then after that, she comes back. So what we discovered that after prayers, we discovered that she was possessed. And what was happening is that the same evil spirit was trying to do the same thing, intending to kill her, to harm her. So based on these experiences, I agree that there's the aspect of demons being involved in the topic of suicide. However, apart from that, there's also witchcraft. People, they do, they can bewitch you to make you kill take your own life. I'll give an example of a boy who died in 2019. He was 11 years old. So he was found dead in his grandmother's bathroom with the door locked from the inside. Yes. So, however, before his death, his dog chased a certain old man, and then he threatened the boy to say, "You Nzagupaya." And then what happened now is that after that incident, this happened. So there could be that perspective to say you can also be wished, So I do agree that there's aspect of demons. However, that is not the case in all. We cannot generalize that every person who dies by suicide is because of the demons. There's an aspect of mental disorders as well. Yes. There's also the aspect of he is just a person who is going through hardships and they just think of taking their own lives. So the demonic part comes in when evil spirit possession, we have been bewitched. That's where I agree that those are demons now. However, there's an aspect of mental disorders there. You can't say it's a demon. This person is in a state of innocence. They don't even know what they're doing, So how can you say that that's a demon? I'm having a mental disorder here right now. I don't even understand what I'm doing or saying. I'll give an example. Here's a person, these people that we see walking around the street. Are they demons? Or they have mental disorders. I mean, some of them were bewitched, right? There's a possibility. Some of them is just a disorder. They have this. We have schizophrenia, for example. It's a mental disorder. Person is having delusions and hallucinations. It's not a demon. That this person is. It's a disorder, and there is treatment for such as well. So I would say, 30% is. We can say it's a spiritual aspect of it, and then 70 is the mental illness thing that we're talking about, people having breakdowns or what.
Okay, I would say it's a 50-50 because at the end of the day, like you have said, they are demons, and demons, these are spiritual beings. They don't have the physical, so they always look for a physical body, yes, so that they can do their thingies.
So yeah, that's why I also agree with the demons, but there's also the other part, which is not that.
Because I've also heard some people, I've had conversations with people who say, you know what, I feel like taking my own life. Not that they have any
mental illness, no.
Not that they're having any struggles that they cannot handle. They've been handling issues, but they just feel unhappy, like they just want. So in that case, you can say they are possessed with a demon that just wants to take their own lives.
Possible.
Magic is real. Satanism is real.
Satan can influence.
Like witches, yeah. So we need to really be careful and always look out for ourselves and our neighbors, our loved ones. In terms of like offering support, how can we offer support to someone who's because we're winding up the show, time is not really on our side. How can we support people that are suicidal? How can we just be there for them and assure them that they're not alone? They should trust us with their issues. They should speak out. If they don't trust anyone at home, in terms of family, friends, are there facilities? Again, I emphasize on that one, just in case it's someone who's just joining us. Do you specifically know any rehabilitation centers that are offering help to people that are suffering from suicidal thoughts?
Well, definitely, there are a number of them. Am I allowed to mention the names? Is it not going to be advertisement?
No, you can mention because we need people to get help.
Okay, sure.
As well as church, I love Healing Word Ministries. They do have a session, or they do have counselors in their church that offer help for those that need spiritual help. So
sure.
There are counselors at Healing Word Ministries. If you're going through something, do feel free to come through to Healing Word Ministries, and you'll find counselors that are ready to speak to you.
Okay, so we can start with the spiritual aspect of it. So there's what we call pastoral counseling. So this is where your pastor, bishop, or any church leader can help you when you are having a breakdown or you're having any mental health issues. The person that you can talk to. That's if you don't want to go to Chinama, because to you it's a Chinama case, which means you don't want to consider yourself as that person who's mentally disturbed completely. Yes.
But it's a good place.
And for people it's not. It's not. So go to church. And those people will definitely help you. They'll pray for you. They'll take you through the spiritual aspect of it. And definitely you find these are the people where they will help you to say you are the light of the world. You are the salt of the earth.
They'll give you the right
information. And then now when you start believing that, it will definitely change your perspective. I can be, as they say, you can be crushed, but you would never be. I mean, you cannot be crushed because you can be hard pressed, but not perplexed. You can be in despair. You can be. They say you can be persecuted but not abandoned. These are Bible scriptures that will help you. These things will come in, but you have to remember that Jesus Christ died for you. So they give you a different perspective on how you should think about the challenges that you are going through. And then from there, if possible, if you still don't want to go to Chinama, find people.
Spiritual help.
Yes. Find people who can help you to give you that resilience that you need. So examples of the rehab centers, there is Great North Road Rehab Center. They help you. There's also Sanity. They will definitely help you. And also still Chinama, they will still help you. We also have a freelance therapist and psychologist. These are people who just they have the license, and then they are offering services as a personal. So these are people that can come to your place. So I'll give an example. For example, Victoria Mpindu. And there's also Coach Barbara. They offer counseling sessions. These are the people that they can give you that therapy and counseling session in your house. So you don't have to worry about it.
And then also there are people like me. I wasn't just like, I have trust issues mostly. I did my counseling sessions online.
Okay.
These things have been made available for everyone.
Yeah, you can even utilize that. Actually, I've checked some of some sites. So I still don't remember. I wish I came with some.
It's okay, but
yes, but there are a number of them.
To do with mental health things, they just bring a whole lot of them.
Definitely. And
they are trusted. You can speak to them, and I can testify myself. I didn't want to just like be there in person and what. I just wanted to do it over the phone because I'm like shy around a lot of people. So I just decided to do mine online. But it's more effective when you're
in person.
Doing it in person.
Also, we also have Childline and Lifeline. They also offer free counseling sessions. You just call them if you have a breakdown. They will they have hired a number of counselors. They give you the counseling there, and they through WhatsApp or direct call. They use Nyanja, English, Bemba, Tonga. It's any language. So these are the people. All these services are there.
So you don't have to kill yourself.
No, you don't have to.
Seek for help.
You don't have to.
And there are those who are just scared to talk to their parents, but their parents are like available. You can talk to your parents, they'll offer you the help that you need.
Yeah, for sure.
I know people have got issues like when it
With
comes to
parents,
opening up with parents, but believe me, my mom has been like...
It has to do with the relationship that you have, what kind of relationship you have with your mother or father. You know, some people are not that much open to their parents, you know, because of how they were raised, you know, maybe their parents, they never had open discussions, you know. So for example today, tell me, how are you feeling? Was there anyone, you know, maybe, you know, said something bad to you that, you know, is still troubling in one way or another? Would you like to share, you know, are you having any challenges that you'd like to talk to me about? So if you started talking to your child, having such conversations with the child from a young age, it becomes easy for them to open up even in their adulthood. So, but if you haven't done that, it becomes hard for them.
Yeah, very true. But anyway, you could even trust your sibling or just anybody else who is available. Unfortunately, time is not really on our side. This is a very good book. I hope this is my copy. Is it? This is national television. So, is this mine? Is this mine?
Yeah, yours is that side. Outside after we're done. Okay. Yours.
Okay. So this book will be launched tomorrow, and then we are officially launching it on the
17th September, Sunday, at the University of Zambia Confucius Multipurpose Hall. 14 hours to 17 hours.
Okay.
Yes.
So for those that would want to get a copy, your social handles, so that they just get the details on how they can.
Definitely, you can follow me on Facebook. The name is Stephen Ariopiri. Instagram, same name. Twitter, same name. And LinkedIn. Stephen Ariopiri is the name. Those are my handles.
Okay. No, Stephen Ariopiri, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate your contribution to the society, because we know this is not just an easy thing. This book will help a lot of people. It's not just your thoughts. You talk to professional people, specialized people, people who've been there before and then they've overcome. Yeah, so everything is in here. So do follow him on his social handles, but remember to always catch us every Saturdays as we bring to you different kinds of personalities. So authors, poets, musicians, especially, okay, let me not even say especially, we only host people that are making a positive difference in the society. When it comes to gospel, when it comes to artists, we only feature gospel artists. So if you want to be featured on the show, do follow us on our Facebook page, Camnet TV, leave your comments there, and then we'll get back to you, or you can inbox us. If you can come through to the studios, you come through, you'll find people that are going to attend to you, and they'll tell you on how to find yourself on this show. It's been great, it's been awesome. We're looking forward to tomorrow, because that's when the book will be on sale.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so follow him on his social handles. You've heard his social handles. Remember to catch the repeats of this very show on Monday at 10:45. For now, actually, you have to give us your word of advice. We can't just say goodbye before getting a word of advice from you.
Definitely, definitely. Well, I just want to share something from the book here, which I believe is something that I would like to close with as my remarks. So, I wanted you to learn that help is hope for we, not me. And this is the things that I believe, or if we do as Zambians, we definitely be able to help one another. Let's not be quick to lift the casket of the dead body. Let's us be quick to uplift people's lives while they are still alive. Let's not wish whatever wishes we would wish if after our loved ones are long gone. Let's make the wishes we could wish a reality before our friends or loved ones are gone. Let's appreciate and honor those who are doing good things now, not after they are gone. So what I mean is that try by all means to use to take advantage of the days, to the power of saving today. What have you done today to help someone? Have you lightened up someone's burden? Have you encouraged someone? Have you been there for someone who is in need? So these are the things that we're supposed to do. Imagine living a life where someone walks up to you every day to say, I was hungry and you fed me, I never had clothes, but you dressed me, I was in prison, you visited me. These are the ways that we're supposed to hear from our friends and loved ones. So I wish you, this is the challenge to you. Be that person, be that kind, caring, and loving stranger to someone in need.
Okay, so thank you so very much once again. And you have heard it yourselves. Please let us be there for our friends. Let us look out for these suicidal thoughts in people, because sometimes it's easy to talk, sometimes it's not easy, but let us just be supportive friends, let us be there. And when someone confides in you, please don't take it to social media or sharing with people without their permission, unless they've permitted you to share it with someone else. Let's learn to keep people's secrets. I hope you have learned a thing or two, just like I have learned a whole lot of things. I haven't just learned one or two, but I've learned a whole lot of things. Thank you for joining us once again on the Weekly Gospel. This has been amazing, Katamanda, and I'll always be the amazing Katamanda. Be sure to catch us again next week, same time, same place, as we host a whole different personality. I don't know who we're going to be having. We might have a poet, we might have a musician. Let us know who you want to see as well via our Facebook page. Inbox us the name of the person you want us to bring on the show, and then we'll definitely do that. And if you are the one that wants to be featured on the show, do get in touch with us. For now, this is where we have to say our goodbyes on behalf of Elijah Chifita and the entire production crew, Amoray, not forgetting the pastors, Pastor Moses and Victoria Chilova. We said thank you so very much. And mind you, the comments that you got here, they have nothing to do, this is a disclaimer, they have nothing to do with Camnet TV. These were just our comments and our views. They have nothing to do with Camnet TV. So goodbye, God bless you, keep it locked, Camnet TV, you know, and not just another channel.